Do you know anything about their quarterback?
Yeah, do you know anything about him? It's not often where you start off the week thinking you're going to play somebody else, and then you see you're playing against the guy you just played against 2 weeks ago. But yeah, I mean, we'll get to see Joe again. It feels like we just played him. You know, some people ask how he's going to get ready to play so fast. I mean, he's played so many years, been part of so many different systems. It's probably just going to be terminology. And look, I think he fits what they're looking for really well. I mean, he gets rid of the ball really quick. He can throw it up. He's got a strong arm. You can see it. And they got really good wideouts. So I think it's a good move for them. It's a good fit. And we'll get a second crack at him.
You know, you mentioned when you faced him a few weeks ago that the challenge would be disguising against him because he's seen everything. So is it even more difficult now that you've showed him some stuff, but now that stuff's already kind of gone out the window?
Yeah, I mean, I thought our guys did a really good job against him the first time we played. But yeah, as soon as we found out we were playing him again, I certainly looked back and really looked to see what he saw, how he presented things, and I think week to week we got to change that. But certainly if we're playing a guy really twice in 3 weeks, so I think that's a fair and good question. We can't just go in and say, hey, we're going to run this and give him the same picture. So we got to change that up a bit. And I think we need to do that every week. But certainly, I mean, he's smart. He sees it. He's played for so long. So I have a ton of respect for him. And like I said, we'll get another shot at him.
Jeff, after the Dallas game, Parsons said that he would like to sit down, and just talk about how he's been used in other places and here, and just, kind of brainstorm with you. Did you get a chance to do that with him over the bye?
Yeah, we did it when he first got here. We did it week 2, we did it week 3, and we did it again this week. He comes in just like a lot of the guys do. We go over the plan and meet with them, and DeMarcus and I do, and VO, and just like we do every week. So for sure we met with them. We'll meet with them again later this week and again next week. So yeah, I think that would be common practice throughout.
Where do you think things got away from you against the Cowboys?
Yeah, had a lot of time to think about that. I mean, just, you play so well for so long, and then you kind of, you have that bad half and go into a bye week, so it sticks with you for a little bit longer than usual, right? I'm looking back at that game. They hadn't scored a point, and there were 58 seconds left in the second half. Well, they scored the 2 points. They hadn't scored against our defense, and there's 50 seconds left in the second half. We run a safety pressure. They throw up. He kind of just throws the ball up, and we have 2 guys right there, and they make a good play, and they score. I think it's the first touchdown we gave up in the first half up into that point, and then all of a sudden you're getting ready to go into halftime, and we're back out on the field. I think there was 12 seconds left, and bang, we gave up another touchdown. And just from there, I felt like we were just off a little bit. So I need to do a better job in those moments of making sure we regroup, reset, and get back to who we were. But I just felt like we were off. I felt like the execution was a little bit off. Certainly I could have done a better job with, calling the game in that half. I think it all stemmed from there. And then, I thought we started off the overtime pretty well. It was, I believe, 2nd and 7, and he kind of threw that one up when we almost had the sack, and he kind of caught the ball inside the 10-yard line. And what I will say, looking back, after that half really snowballed, if I'm answering your question okay, I was really proud of the way the guys played those 3 downs inside the 10-yard line, because at that point, everybody probably thought, here we go, we're going to give up another score. And we held them on 3 downs and forced them to kick a field goal. So I was proud of the way we finally said, enough. We stopped them. Our guys did a really nice job, and we held them to a field goal there. But it just seemed like at that moment we couldn't stop it from going. So I certainly need to do a better job in those situations, and we need to execute and be ourselves. We were not. That answer your question okay?
So how much can you learn about your team in the first quarter of a season that you don't learn or you don't know during camp?
You learn every game about your team. You learn as you go through every situation about your team. You have to go through adversity to really find out a lot about yourselves, and you have to be able to stick together, push through it. So I was proud of the way we finished the game, even though we wanted to stop them, but we held them on those 3 plays and allowed them to kick the field goal and gave us a chance to win the game or tie the game. But you learn a lot. And in the first 3 games, let's be honest, there really wasn't any adversity. We hadn't given up a point up until the fourth quarter of all those games, and they were really out of hand, right? And even in the Cleveland game, it was 3-0 late in the fourth quarter. So, you go through a little adversity together, you find out a lot about each other, and you move on and you get better. I mean, we have a really good defense, We didn't play well in certain areas in that game, and that's the NFL. You got to figure things out and move on.
Jeff, how do you make up for not having Wyatt? He was, hasn't practiced yet. He looked like when he went out in the game, things changed a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good question too, because he's having a great year. I mean, not a good year. He's having a great year. He's been really physical in the run game, but the other thing he's been doing, he's been such a good pocket push guy in his pass rush, and he's been so effective collapsing the pocket. So certainly he was missing that game a lot, but again, it's the NFL. Guys are going to get injured, and I hope he's back very shortly. And now you rely on the guys that have been playing too. I mean, you got a bunch of guys in Kobe Wooden and Carl Brooks, and Stack's going to have to step up a little bit, and Warren Brinson, and we'll move some pieces around, and we have confidence in those guys. I mean, that's part of our jobs, is to develop our younger players throughout the year and develop our backups throughout the year, because ultimately you're going to need those guys, right? It's not just, hey, you have these players and hopefully they all stay healthy. You hope that they do, but we have to develop these other players so that they're prepared to play at a high level. That's our job as coaches. So we've been working really hard for that, and if Devontae can't be out there, then those other guys will need to step up, and then other guys rally around them. We got good players out there.
Jeff, you guys statistically are really good on third down over the course of the 4 games, and even Dallas, they didn't have a great third down percentage. So what's been the key to your unit's success, and how do you keep it going there?
Yeah, one, I think for the most part we've been putting teams in third and medium to longer situations. The problem in Dallas was we weren't winning enough on first down to get there. But on the third downs, I mean, it's a credit to our players. It's the rush plus the coverage. We've been getting pressure on the quarterback. We've been aggressive at coverage. We've been aggressive and played man coverage in certain games where we thought we could and gotten off the field. We've simulated. We've disguised and played zones. We've thrown a lot at people, but ultimately it's the guys out on the field really executing well on third down. And we're going to need to continue to do that. But they've done a really good job on third down.
We just talked to Micah, and he started talking about, he got hooked on motivational tapes when he was in high school. And so even though he feels like everybody understands their assignment, he keeps on going back to motivation. How much do you look for your players to do that within, or how much do you have to push that button?
I think it's both. I think it's our job to motivate them when needed, and then other players to motivate their teammates. And then I think from some guys it comes from within. I mean, I could get in front of a room right before kickoff or at halftime and give the best motivational speech in America, just like Matt could do, and he does a great job of that. But ultimately that wears off, and you got to go play the game. So a lot of that, it's got to come from within, like a guy like Micah, who is ultra competitive and ultra motivated, and like a lot of our guys are. But certainly, you got to find different ways to motivate different players, and the way I might motivate you might be different than I motivate him. I mean, that's just the reality of it. I mean, some guys, you got to get on really hard, and other guys, you got to find different ways to motivate them because they don't respond well to that. So it's all individualized. So if listening to those motivational tapes helps him, then I'll buy him more motivational tapes and send him to him whenever he needs. But I don't think Micah Parsons needs much motivation to play. So I don't think a lot of our guys do. I think our guys are highly motivated right now to get back on the field. They know what they're capable of, and they're excited to play again.
If a team is going to double Micah Parsons, is there any way to stop it? I mean, do you just have to accept the fact that they're going to slide or they're going to chip or whatever?
Yeah, there's ways you can stop it, but if they're going to commit multiple people in the box and multiple people in protection, and they can find a way to get more than one hat on them. Our job, and even in that Dallas game, I mean, there was times when he was singled up one-on-one, But yeah, there's ways to do that, and we're going to continue to show different ways to do it. Now that we have more practice time and he's around more, we can really start getting into those. But when they do that, our other guys got to win too, because now they're singled up.
Jeff, going back to what you said, you really didn't face much adversity, how well you were playing those first 3 games. And Xavier said something about how he felt like going into the Dallas game that there have been guys that kind of felt like they had won the Super Bowl going 2-0. I'm curious, is the benefit of not answering that adversity the way you wanted you to and your guys to, that there's a huge lesson there that they won't make that mistake again, or they just needed that experience? How do you view the value of it?
Well, I think you have to learn lessons from everything that you do. And sometimes it takes a hard lesson, like this one right here. So they went through it, and now they need to understand there are going to be tough moments. And together, they need to be able to hit the reset button, take a deep breath, and go back and be who they are. Because even X will tell you, I mean, there's a lot of guys that all of a sudden you start pressing, right? And you do uncharacteristic things, and you stop doing your job, and then you miss a play, or you miss a tackle, or you don't line up where you're supposed to because you're trying so hard to do something else when all you had to do was line up and do your job. So when all of a sudden adversity hits, and you don't need to panic, and that's what they need to learn. That's what everybody needs to learn. You don't need to panic. You just need to trust your training and do your job, which is why you've been playing so well and you're a really good player. Don't press. You understand what I'm saying? Because when you press, just like you guys, if you start pressing and start getting anxiety, you're not going to do your job well. And I think sometimes you do have to go through it. I mean, look, guys, there's games last year. I mean, however many points we gave up on defense against Dallas, there's games last year we gave up 34 points, 31 points. I mean, we don't want that to happen. I never want that to happen. I hope it never happens again. You have to learn from it and respond and get better and grow from it. But you got to be able to do the same thing when you win a game and sit down and look yourself in the mirror and say, it's like I said in the Cleveland game, like, yeah, we still need to be better. Just like after the Washington game, we still need to do things better. We're not playing our best football right now. I don't think we played our best football against Detroit, Washington. We need to get better and better, so at the end of the year, we're playing our best football, period.
But it was jarring. Like, it's one thing to go up 34 points when you're kind of an inconsistent defense and you're still learning the system. But when you're as dominant as you were in the first 3 games, are you even sitting up there? I know you're trying to fix it in real time. But are you going, this is not us. What's happening here?
During the course of calling the game? No, and you just keep coaching and trying to help out the best you can. I mean, I can't panic and start thinking about it. I mean, you view one play as its own entity and you move on, and then you got to go to the next play, and then you got to go to the next play. And then you have to, in between series, try to fix it and correct it the best that you can, and that's all you can do. And then at the end of the game, you got to look hard at yourself first. You got to coaches, players, and figure it out. But I don't view that like it was really a half of football. We didn't do a good enough job. Just like after the first 3 games, I wasn't sitting up here saying that we've arrived. I mean, that's just not how I look at it.
Have there been turnover opportunities that you haven't made? So you go back and look, and maybe a guy could have swatted the ball out at a quarterback's hand. Maybe someone could have undercut a route or something like that. Have you seen that, or have they just not been there?
There's been opportunities. We show them all the opportunities after every game. There's been opportunities to have more in each game. Absolutely. And they'll continue to have those. And we'll continue to work at them, and I'm confident that we will get them. But yeah, every game we look at, each play, we have a guy get up and he shows this is how many opportunities we had, this is how many we took, this is how many we left on the table, and we're just all very honest with each other. So for sure. Good question.